Hey, 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 it is Friday, May 17th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso, and this is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective of small business owners, in particular, martial arts school owners, try to figure out this thing called life. We want to be prosperous. We want to scale and monetize our business, take care of our families, take care of our teams, give back to the community, and create this meaningful business that truly has the potential to impact lives, make a difference, give back, and all those good things. Let me begin by thanking my sponsors. I got lots of wonderful sponsors who allow me to do what I do, and I love them dearly. We have Tucson Market Muscles, my studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. All services that I actively use. I'm not simply a brand ambassador or influencer. They impact my businesses greatly, and I'm so thankful to them for allowing me to do what I do. What do we got coming up here? It's Time Life Purpose, November 9th to 12th, right here in San Francisco, California. 4 days of an amazing retreat. You can stay for one day and get all business. You can stay for 2 days and get some on the mat training in business, but it's really the 4 days where that third day of personal development, that fourth day of wealth building and strategizing and accountability to take what you've learned over those 3 days and impact your life and better everything that you do, including your bottom line. It's Time Life Purpose, November 9th through 12th. Only 20 school owners. 20 is all we do. And it's a very intimate environment, but I believe well worth the investment and so much more. Anyone who's ever attended that event will tell you it is definitely the number one martial arts growth event in the martial arts industry. Cool? All right. I spend maybe about 8 to 12 hours a week at Zoom talking to different clients and school owners and groups that I sit in to help figure out what is it that we're really here to do. And I say that almost in a sense of confusion because it's different. At 62, what I need today is much different than when I was 52, much different when my kids were first born, and now they're 12 and 15. So I'm always mining that data. I'm always rebooting, refreshing, and visiting authentically, with myself in self-reflection. Who am I today? And what is it that I truly want and need more so? I know the difference between need and want. I need air. I don't want air. I need it, right? Or I'm going to die. So I ask you that question. What is it that you truly need today, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road? And if you can vision that and create an actionable plan and steps and have good habits of discipline to follow through on a daily basis, we always talk about that 1%, that 1%, that 1%. I'm very passionate about that 1% because that little step forward is worth more than just simply being stagnant and standing still. So once I know that and I'm confident that is what I need in my life, then I'm okay with the ups and downs and the setbacks and maybe not moving as fast as I would like because I know what my end game is going to be. And I trust and believe that that 1%, that one step forward every day is really vital to achieving that. So many people jump ship, change gears, you know, last week you wanted what? Now this month you want this, and they jump around because they weren't even clear to begin with coming into the game. Right? I posted that meme yesterday about how hard and stressful it is being a small business owner. And I learned at a very early age, as I shared, working in my grandma's restaurants. My father owned a business. I've owned several businesses. I'm a third generation small business owner. I know how stressful it is. I know what comes with that territory. And I don't believe the majority of people who get into business have a remote idea of what that truly means. So they're almost baffled, perplexed that it's not a turnkey operation and it's not simply, set it and forget it, like so many of the franchise models want to tell you. Anything that you do is going to require intensive work, lots of work. And that's why memes come out of small business owners like I do the 80s. I don't have to do 40. Things like Success Never Sleeps, the title of this show. I know what it takes to be successful as a small business owner. And it is not simply driving around in a green Lamborghini lying on the beach. I work. Elon Musk posted the other day, he does 120 hours a week. 120. This guy's a billionaire. Isn't he allowed a timeout? Can't this guy just stop working for the rest of his life and just chill? No, but Elon Musk posted he does 120 hours a week because he likes it. I like my purpose. I like fulfilling it. It's not a burden. It's not a chore. It's not a task. I love being a small business owner. And what fuels that love is a deep sense of gratitude that I get the freedom that a small business allows me if I run it efficiently and I run it right. And it provides me with that unlimited freedom of wealth. Somebody said that, well, you have the ability to scale your wealth quicker, bigger, and better and faster than somebody who works a 9 to 5. And my response to that is yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And that's the trade off. You deal with the stress, but you can create wealth bigger, better, and faster than somebody working a 9 to 5. You have the freedom that comes with being a small business owner, but you deal with the stress that comes with it. There's always a trade-off. There's always a yin to the yang. So as you come aboard, say hello. We have Bob Poole is hanging out. Bob, who else is here today with us? And we know today is about Q&A. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. I love to see who's hanging out with us. We get people from Switzerland, Canada, Australia, and it's very cool to see when they pop up there in the comments. And I know that you are here hanging out, watching the show with us. So what is today all about? Q&A, right? I love asking questions, but even more than that, I love asking the questions that I need, to create my version of success, to be a better version of me. That's just the way we roll. What's up, Miss Monique? Karate for girls. And that's the way, we roll. We as human beings need to be better. We as human beings want something. What's next in the movie, right? I think of my own basic relationship. And I don't say basic, it's been my longest relationship beyond my family, is with my wife. We've been married 17 years and it started out, we were dating, right? Then eventually we wanted something more. So we got engaged. Then we wanted something more. So we got married. Now, where do we go next? Let's buy a house. Where do we go next? Let's have children. Where do we go next? I mean, there's always something more we want out of a relationship, out of our business, out of ourselves. So if you get that and that need to grow, and it doesn't mean adding 10 locations, maybe you just want to go a little deeper so you can hire somebody and have the complete freedom and that business becomes passive income. I don't know what your version of success is, but success for me is always striving to be a better version, being a better version of me on a daily basis. Cool, cool, cool. So as you come aboard, as I shared, say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. It's a really, really good thing. One other thing I definitely need to plug is our It's Time group mentoring. We're having a lot of fun. It's new for us. It's a new adventure. And I get to hang out with 3 of my mentees and friends, Monique and Jason and Marco. Plus, we're helping school owners. We have a very small number at this point, but it's allowing us to genuinely cut our teeth, figure out what's good and bad about what we're cultivating here and really prime it. So I want to thank the people that are trusting us at this entry level to really help them. And I think we're doing great work for them. It's overwhelming, but I think what's really important for me when I decided to do this group mentoring or anything that I venture into is that I give you a very clear picture of what it's going to take. I work and I work hard at what I do. I work smart, and I have a lot of freedom, but I work and I do so diligently because I get what it takes. It's easy to be great for today, be great for a week, to be great for a year, harder. But to do it year after year after year after year, like we have 24 years of what we've done, that to me is proof in the pudding that the systems, right, the culture, the brand message, and all the rest that we're cultivating has legs. And we can teach that to you in the It's Time group mentoring. But make no mistake, you're going to work really, really, really hard. So if you get a chance, pop in that link for that, Marco, for the It's Time group mentoring. We haven't released Purpose yet. We're going to get it out to, preferred is a bad word, but the loyalists to the It's Time event. So we want to get it to them first. All right, Marco, let's hop into this big dog. We have questions, and we have questions. So go ahead and pop up the first question, John Marco. Put it in the comments as well as put it up on the screen. Thanks for all those links, Marco. So what's the first question we got in there? What are some specials and pricing strategies you use during the slower summer months? Well, first, what I really love, and this is a mindset thing, so I want you to write this down. Tell me I can't. Tell me I can't. It's kind of like what I've learned about the stock market, right? When everybody's selling and the market is tanking and it's having a bad day, for me, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to buy, right? Get those stocks a little lower, better value, and then sell it when they return. I think summers were the same thing. So I took a look at summers when I first opened, and I said to myself, well, summers are slower because people are on vacation. And here in Millbrae, especially Millbrae, it's one of the most richest cities, in the nation, one of the most expensive cities to live in the nation. But the people who are here have lots of disposable income. So they're gone during the summer. Gone, gone, gone. I will get people on hold. I'm going to China for 3 months. What are you doing? 3 months, right? Right. So that's quite common. So I understood right away that that's how summers roll. So the first thing we looked at was um, the need for day camp. So we implemented day camp. And I remember my first summer of day camp in San Francisco was 10 weeks, average of 7 kids a week, and me. That was it. And I taught classes after that. So it was pretty brutal, but you have to start somewhere. And today we enjoy really wonderful camps at both locations. We're premium camps. We tap out at about 36 kids because we don't want to be overran by that. We want to keep a very healthy balance of our martial arts classes in relationship to camp. So our first strategy there was to be mindful of that I don't want people coming in for the regularly scheduled class that they pay premium dollar for. And, it's being ran by summer camp, right? So designated facilities for camp, we have the space. So by the time people come in and for lessons at 4:15, it's business as usual. The campers are in the aftercare. They have their own legitimate space at both locations, and we run that really well. So camp would be my first strategy. Another one that works really well, you saw I posted it yesterday, Christopher Pirelli of Dojo Muscle posted a print piece that we used 10 years ago. And I love it because out of all the work Christopher Pirelli does, which he does lots of it, that this piece stood out and withstood the test of time. And that's what I love about great marketing, not good marketing, great marketing. It's like a hit song. It will last again and again and again and again. And that's really what I try to cultivate in the stories that I tell for my business, for my personal brands, is to be consistent in that message to earn trust, but to make sure it's a story that I believe in, that's worth telling. So on this direct mail piece was 3 months and a uniform for $2.99. Okay, 3 months in a uniform for $2.99. I recommend it. If you have anywhere from 100 to 150 students and you're going to lose people this summer, imagine if you get 30 new students, right? That's $9,000. $9,000 is still something versus all the people simply on hold. The challenge with the 3-month special, and when you sign up for it, it starts. There's no putting it on hold. You can't take 2 weeks off. It runs simultaneously from the minute you sign up. So be very mindful to share that before they sign up. Is the hard part at the end of the summer is, will they convert? The sticker shock that comes from going from $99 a month in our case, $259 for twice a week, right? $259 a month. So that's a huge jump. And there is sticker shock, but if you can really wow them over that 3 months, wow them? No, really wow them. You put yourself in a unique position to convert them. And we do have kids coming from the East Coast where the divorced father has the kids, so they happily enroll them into our camps. They'll happily take advantage of that summer special. Another one that I saw that I think can be relevant is 8 weeks. Sure, you want to do 8 weeks in a uniform for, I don't know, maybe 199. Sure, you can absolutely do that. I think, again, these summer specials that are inexpensive allow people to take advantage of them, because it's fundamentally because of the price point. It really is. And the parents don't want the kids just doing nothing, but giving them a reason why. And the one we identify with that I just wrote the script for Ken is, did you know that children lose 2 months of learning during the summer? Keep them sharp and school ready by enrolling them in our martial arts and life skills program. Great angle, great pain point, and one that I would recommend to go along with your 3 months and a uniform for $299. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. All right. So what's the next question? Summers should not be slow, people. You should be all over those summers, by the way. How do I build a strong school culture and community? I want you to write down the word culture. Write it out nice and big. And again, as I see you coming aboard, man, say hello. Say hello. Tell me who you are, where you tuning in from, and all that beautiful stuff. Culture. The first four letters are cult. And I study humanism a lot. I really enjoy it, but I study the extremes. I study things like Ted Bundy. I study things like David Koresh. I study things like Mother Teresa. I know, right? And Maya Angelou. I study the Dalai Lama. I study the gamut because humanism's a trip. Humanism is a trip because humans are so unpredictable. You can never figure them out. But I do know one thing. Humans love to be a part of something special. Classic example is that mom, right? She has three kids in your program, shows up 40 minutes before class, hangs out well after class is over, always ready to help you with some type of event, whether it's buddy day or parents' night out or your Halloween event. That mom did not buy into your culture. She believes in it. She believes in it enough where she wants to contribute to it. That's magic to me. So it's really about understanding, with that is what type of culture do you want to create? We all want a strong one. We all want to build a strong foundation, but each culture is unique. Look at the difference between maybe an Asian culture and a European, culture in Slovenia. I mean, they're two different completely, they're humans at a heart level, but the cultures behave very differently, very differently. So when we talk about creating or building a strong culture, I would start with why? 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 Right? And companies like Apple and Nike and Disney, they all live and die from the why. Ours is live your best life. Our mission statement, we are one, a community dedicated to serving you in every moment to live your best life. Our culture is one of service. We serve. The challenge is go back to those first four letters, cult. Every cult is driven by some charismatic person who sits there and starts believing their own crap at some point and starts doing really inappropriate things. There's not a single cult leader that has ever not gone that way in the end, right? By temptation, by default. So be very careful. When I work with school owners and everything I see is pictures of them and pictures of them and pictures of them, and I'm master so and so, and it's built around your ego, it's built around your insecurities, your fears, it's just built around your narcissistic, mindset. And that is not healthy at all. And that's where those first four letters, it's very easy for a culture to turn into a cult. Not my intention when we began, but very easy for that to happen. Hey, what's up, Ashton? What's happening, sir? And again, anybody else coming aboard? I love, 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 love to see who's here and who's tuning in. Cool. So that's how you have to define that culture, right? I think that's really important. And then once you understand and believe in that, and it is one that's based upon service. I think the only way I ever stay away from my ego is when I wake up in the morning and I know my whole purpose is to be the best me for my family, to be the best me for my team, and to be the best me for the community that we serve, right? And the minute I recognize that, having grown up in a very cult-driven martial arts industry where it's some master or this master or that master, and when I saw that guy in the comic book, the Dante guy with the dim mock death touch, had all this mystique, but it was also very cultish, very, very cultish, right? Very cultish. And this sense of blind loyalty is what I think fed into that cult mentality. So make sure your culture is truly rooted in service and you have a great set of core values, as they say in like the 12-step program, principles before personalities. You have a set of core values that your business and school runs on, you better own it. Because the minute you don't fulfill one of those core values, you break your brand promise to that community and they will leave because they no longer trust you. And trust to me is truly the last true form of marketing. We will do everything we can to protect our brand and control the narrative in a healthy way. And when we are wrong, we say we are wrong, 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 wrong. And that's important too. Now, the community itself, once you've established this brand that you truly believe in, right? And I know this question came from Conrad, respect martial arts. It's built around respect. Everybody's respected, everybody's included, however you define that culture. Once you have that confidence, then you bring it to the community. And I'm not talking about standing on a soapbox on a corner preaching. No, I'm talking about I have a very clear brand promise. So through my every thought, word, and action, I promote it. And I go out into the community through my every thought. How can I serve this community? My every word. We are One Martial Arts here to serve the community. Action. Donate our time, donate money, donate our services. We are very passionate about that, whether it's sponsoring a little league team or having the cotton candy show up at a walkathon at a middle school, right? To monetary donations. We donate weeks and weeks of camp and birthday parties. So we back up who we are. We have built a reputation over 10 years in Millbrae, 24 years in San Francisco. That is stellar. And we make sure that we continue to nurture by bringing our culture to the community consistently. And that's why when you ask people all the time, when you were once successful, what did you do? ABC. Are you still doing ABC? No. Why? Oh, I just got bored trying to figure out how to do something different. No way. No way. If you have something that's working really well, don't abandon it. Go deeper on it, refine it, make it better. Why? Because that train is out of the station. And if you got good community based marketing and you're out there with your cotton candy machines everywhere, all of a sudden you pull the plug on it, then people come to you and go, hey, can you bring the. No, you don't have cotton candy anymore? Oh, well, okay. No, if anything, you want to 10x that. Marco made his own custom focused martial arts flavor, right? I mean, you want to go deeper. Bigger is not always better. We generate more revenue in these two locations than we ever had because we went deeper after the pandemic. Not bigger, we went deeper. And it's not like we're not in a position to open a third location or fourth. We choose not to. We choose not to, right? We go deeper, creating more revenue, and that helps fuel the growth. Because again, going back, every human needs to expand and grow and do better. And if I can say I make more money this year than a year ago, that's a good day. That's a good day. That is my base. What I want to do benchmark wise, that's a different goal. So I think it's really important to keep that in perspective. So define that culture, have the core values, and do everything you can to bring it to the community and keep your brand promise. Next question. Does Ashton have one there, Marco? I can't read that. Okay, how much time did it take for your first location to become successful and your culture to take root? Honestly, when I opened the first location, I didn't know my head from my behind. I didn't. What I knew from my grandma, it was a personality driven business. My grandma could outwork everybody. She worked well into her 70s. God rest her soul. She taught me to outwork everybody. My papa taught me to outwork everybody with a sixth grade education coming here as an immigrant from another country. But they did not teach me, Ashton, they did not teach me how to create a systemized business, a brand business that could work for me versus me working for it. I mean, that's what everybody grew up in back then, right? Your parents owned a business, they worked a million hours a day, you never saw them, but they provided for the family, right? They provided for the family. I believe it's much different today. I work hard, but I'm at 90% of my kids' soccer and basketball games. I'm home for dinner I'm only teaching 1 day a week. So it's a much different thing today. So I didn't know anything. The first school I had was when I was 19 years old, Ashton. and it closed in 9 months. I didn't know what I was doing. I was some very arrogant 19-year-old kid down in LA. I was still competing. So every night was competition team. You can't build a school beating the crap out of new people. You cannot. You can't. And it was called School of Chinese Kempo Karate. There's no brand there. There was nothing. It's just me being a little 19-year-old kid just running amok. So that closed within 9 months. And then when I opened the one in 2000, it was originally called One Health and Fitness. I know, right? One Health and Fitness. No word of martial arts anywhere in there, Ashton. So the first couple years we survived because I was teaching at 4 different health clubs, 3 karate schools, the park and rec. I was able to bring 100 students with me when I opened my doors. The challenge was it was all based upon Taibo, that aerobic kickboxing. So it was easy, it was fast, but I'd already started cultivating children's programs. And I had an Aikido guy and a Tai Chi person, all these things because my fear was I was not going to make my bills. But the minute I recognized that was not going to sustain, once Taibo started dying and fitness kickboxing, our classes got smaller, I went for what I knew best, martial arts. I changed the name to One Martial Arts about 3 years in, 3 years in, and within 7 years, we're at, from the time I opened my door in 2000, 2007 is when we broke our first million. Our first million. And for me, that was my version of success, Ashton, because I grew up poor and everybody talked about being a millionaire, being a millionaire, being a millionaire. Million is a lot of money. If you make $1 million, you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. Yeah, I made a million, but I had expenses and all the rest, right? So that illusion of what $1 million was my first definition of success. Today, my definition of success is much different, is to create a business that works for me, that's system driven, that takes great care of my team and doesn't require me to be there. It's a passive income because I now live in the mindset of an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur looks to create passive income. I do it in the stock market. I do it with the schools. I do it with my other businesses as well. But make no mistake, I love working and I work a lot. So that's how you do that. Culture, taking root is one thing. Tending to the crops is a different day, Ashton. It's easy to get culture to take root, but to get that plant to grow into a mature tree that bears fruit, there's the big difference, right? Take root. So I hear your question there. Take root. Taking root doesn't mean it's bearing fruit. Once it bears fruit, there's, fruit for me to eat. There's fruit for the team to eat. And there's fruit I can give back to the community. That's really when you know your culture is taking root. But when something takes root, there's nothing I can even eat off that tree yet, right? You with me on that? So I think that's important. And even though once that walnut tree, I think it takes 7 years, then it produces walnuts every year, which is one of the most expensive crops out there, Ashton. I also recognize that I need to tend to that, right? Keep the bugs off it, prune it, water it, right? Do all those different things. Still fertilize it, nurture it, and you give it nutritions. So that part's never going to change. But the hard work, once it all starts coming together, is powerful. But make no mistake, it's consistent. You have to do it consistently forever, 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 ever, ever. It never stops. Never stops. Next question. Who else is here, Marco? Anybody else hanging out with us? I love it when you're, kids love a, how do I train and retain quality instructors? That's a big one. I don't think the training part is the hardest thing, but I'm going to break that down. It's not hard for us today, and I'm going to tell you why. The hierarchy of instructors, we want everybody. First of all, again, from an entrepreneurial mindset, I am always looking for my second. My second. And my second is the person that can replace me, do it better than me, and one day succeed me in my businesses. I've accomplished that. I have TJ, I have Lucas. Each one can run both location. Eventually, as I phase out, I still create passive income. I'll get a revenue stream from both schools, as they pay me off and buy me out. Okay. We've already worked that. But the way TJ and Lucas came to be my second is I recognized early on that they had the potential. So I wined and dined and romanticized those those two boys from the age of 14 until their early 20s when they decided to do this for their living, right? And now I want it to be great. They both own homes. Uh, One bought a new Tesla, one bought a new Suzuki, I think, Forester or something. They have kids, they have 401ks. So I want to take care of them. So that's the big thing. I think the biggest thing in that, when we talk about, retaining quality instructors, you have to create a company people want to work for, right? And when people say, wow, your net profit's only this, yeah, but remember, that's one of many revenue streams I have. And these schools create the income for me that doesn't require me to be there. And that's the big difference here. I want you guys to embrace. I think we often compare our team, the top tiered guys, right, and we'll get into that in a minute. The top tiered guys, oh well, the average kindergarten teacher or personal trainer, they are not the average kindergarten teacher or personal trainer. They're your second. They're replacing you. They're creating freedom for you. That's a whole different animal to me. A whole different. Once we as owners can shift our mindset on that one, things are going to change tremendously. So we still can do better and be better as a company, but we fundamentally have very competitive pay. I know my top tier guy makes more than the majority of people in the industry doing what he does. Number two, we have 401ks, a retirement plan. Number three, we have vacation with pay. Number four, which is required, we have sick leave, right? But number five, the most important one, we value their life outside of our business. We want them to go on vacation. We want them to take paternity leave. We want them to do those things. Super important. We don't want to overwork them. We want to manage hours well. And that's today's workforce, but it also shows you care about them. You really, really do, right? I watch people who run it like, they're crazy, like some dictator. And I don't believe that's healthy. Then, understanding you have A, B, and C players on your team. A are the top tier people, right? They're the one that will absolutely, absolutely be the ones to succeed you. They are my second. The second tiered group, they're instructors that might be semi-retired or work a day job. They're adults and they work with you a couple of days a week. Those aren't discounted. They're just as valuable. It's just a different type of value. And then the C players, right? The high school, the college kids who may or may not stay with you, who get a black belt in their freshman, sophomore year, that they're going to work with you to at least through their senior year. If you wine and dine them well, they might go to a local college for 2 years, right? And still work for you. Then they go off to college, but during the summers, they come back and they're counselors at your day camp. I value them too. But I do recognize in that hierarchy or that tiered model, there's A players, there's B players, and there's C players. All valuable, like Jim Collins said in the book Good to Great. Get the right people on the seat, but more importantly, get them in the right seat. Right? So get them on the bus, get them in the right seat is how that saying goes. And then once you have those people in place, Ashton, you recognize who is A, who is B, who is C, then the training comes to support that. TJ. I meet with TJ every Monday from 2 to 3. It's a mentoring because TJ's my successor. And I make him a latte. We have a nice snack. We sit in the comfort of my home. Again, it's special for him. My home, not at a Starbucks, but my home. And we meet for an hour. And it's personal development, it's growth, it's staying in tune where he's at, what's going on in his life. And that type of mentoring support is valuable. And then every Thursday, I meet with TJ and Lucas, and we train together. Why? Because they train with me as kids, train with me as teenagers. They count on that. They find trust in that. And they are the two people that are going to do what? Train the teams to do what? Deliver the core product. And the core product is martial arts instruction. So I train them on Thursdays. And then Thursday night, I work with the C players, right? The freshmen, the sophomore in high school, they're black belts, and I'm training them to be support staff. And will any of them turn into be a long-term instructor? Potentially. But like Hans Shikovar says, plant seeds early and often. So it's a little longer answer for that question, but I want you to understand why we're able to accomplish what we do. With the average tenure of our team is about 12 years now. 12 years. That's a long time. That's a long time because I understood the A player, the B player, and the C player, and each one I worked to fulfill those roles of the A, B, and C and nurture those relationships differently, much differently than I would the A player and the C player. Those relationships are nurtured differently. But you see, that's vision on my part is why we are where we are, we're our team today. Cool. Yeah, I know that's a lot, but I want to give it to you in depth so you can really understand what that all means. Hey, Letitia's here. Who else is here? Who else is sitting in on today's show? And if you have any questions, put them in there for me. I appreciate you as we go through another episode. I think it's like our fifth, sixth year of this show. It's too much. Mm. You know, I get this one all the time. Does community-based marketing really work? I think the better answer is what is your intention with community-based marketing, right? And if your only reason for doing it is to get new students, it will never work. Never, never, ever. Never, ever, never, ever, ever. Because your mindset about it is just not right, right? And the classic example of that is when I go to a silent auction at an elementary school or a middle school, and we're looking at the table with all the prizes, and another martial arts school is there. And what does he always put? He gives like 6 passes for 2 weeks and a t-shirt. That's got to be who's going to bid on that piece of crap? Nobody. Because unless I specifically want martial arts classes, I am not going to take you up on your 2 weeks and a t-shirt offer, which I saw on some special at Facebook you had a month ago. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But if we donate a premium birthday party valued at $750 or a week of camp valued at $500, wow, that's a premium prize to donate to a silent auction. So that's an example of the mindset when it comes to community-based marketing. So if you ask me that question, does community-based marketing really work? Define what really work means. Does it really work to get you new leads and new students? No, no, not in the moment. But I also understand nobody's there to buy martial arts classes. When we bring out the cotton candy machine, nobody's there to sign up for martial arts classes, right? Hey, I'm going to go to this, back to school night at the elementary school. Maybe there'll be a martial arts school there to sign up for. It's not even on their radar. It's not. So again, 8 to 12 touch points before someone chooses to do business with you, I think is already a reason to go about community-based marketing as one more way to create awareness for your brand, right? I want to create awareness for my brand. Write this down. Create awareness for my brand. We sponsor a Little League team. I went to one of their playoff games. Now, our logo sits on their sleeve. And I figured out in a season, it's roughly a couple thousand people will see that logo on their sleeve, which I think is just good for business all the way around. I used to wonder why all these pizza parlors and local businesses would have the little plaques hanging in their business of the baseball teams that they sponsored. It's just goodwill. And goodwill goes a long, long way, but it'll only go a long way if you stop thinking about, wow, is it getting me more students? Is it getting me more students? Knock it off. Knock it off. Understand, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. So for me, yeah, community-based marketing works really, really well. I was at an elementary school in San Francisco, a couple weeks ago, and I'm freaking sitting there and, during lunchtime in the schoolyard doing confidence building workshops. It's all good. Whatever the community needs, make every effort to never say no and give back. Because if and when they are ready for martial arts, they will remember you. When they go to that Google search and they say, oh, yeah, I remember one martial arts at my kid's elementary school doing the confidence building thing. Oh, yeah, they came over here doing cotton candy. Oh, and then I saw them over there, right? I think that's really important. And that's how we turned our birthday parties into premium birthday parties at $750. I'd gone and taken my son when he was about 4 to a birthday party at a martial arts school. It was okay. I don't think it was earth-shattering. They had some really hokey decorations and, they served cheese pizza and it wasn't very hot. But there's so many things wrong. But what was worse about it was the guy walking around with the clipboard, right? as I'm staring into my cell phone, leaning up against the wall. And he goes, "Hey, excuse me, sir, if you ever think about enrolling your kid in martial arts classes?" I'm going, "No, I just, I'm here today for a birthday party. That's it. That's all I'm here for." "I have permission to bother you again?" "Sure." Okay, fine. And he must have came back to me 3 or 4 times in this party. But what was worse than that was the cheesy guy running the birthday who sat there between every game, every drill. "Today, as a birthday celebration just for you, you sign up for martial arts classes, you get this." And this went on every, other game. And I just think that's appalling. But again, if I'm a parent at your school and you give me a free birthday party, what am I going to say? But what we saw in that was a huge miss. We saw the opportunity to create a premium birthday party that exposes people to your culture, right? You talk about the culture thing again, and your community, and really leave an impression. So now we focus on creating the best birthday experience possible. And that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show, right? To talk to you about how to handle that, because we do really good birthday parties, not good ones. We do really great ones, and we've taken the best of the best. And again, it's another subject. So I think community-based marketing really, really works. And I'll leave you with this: we have a Chick-fil-A trying to open up in our community, and the first thing the board of the council members said to them was, "Show us that you're going to bring value to this, right? We know you'll make money. It's established franchise, Chick-fil-A, and people will eat your food, but how does that help our community? How does that give back to our community?" So here's what I thought was the huge miss for me, only for me. They had showed up at a couple of the basketball games, and there was Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the snack bar. I thought that was pretty cool at first. Then I realized when I went to get one, they were charging like $8 for this Chick-fil-A sandwich, which fundamentally means that it's almost, I don't know, double the price of if you actually went to Chick-fil-A. But what they were doing, they were giving a portion of that money back to the school. If it were the big business that Chick-fil-A is, I would have donated 100 sandwiches and say, sell them for what you want. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't sat there and covered my costs and then kicked back to school. There were a lot of people going, "What? This thing is like almost double the price of what you'd pay for it if you went to Chick-fil-A." So again, I think there's hit and misses with that, and you want to be extremely mindful what community-based marketing is, and maybe take out the word marketing and call it community-based brand awareness, right? Might be a better term. So you stop looking at how many leads I get out of this. When a school owner said to me, "What's your ROI on the cotton candy machine?" I said, "What?" I was almost like I didn't even get the question because my mindset doesn't live from that. "So every cotton candy you give out, how many new students do you get?" Oh, okay. Really hard for me to engage in that conversation. But you see where I'm going with this. And I hope that drives that home, because community-based marketing is very, very, very important. And it's easy to get disenchanted if your only mindset is, how many new students can I get out of this community-based marketing? Cool. Next question. I see one there from Ashton. What does that say? Well, that's a good one, sir. There's not a lot of community-based marketing events going on in my community. And how do I build partnerships with the right people? Um, you know, here's an example. Community-based marketing. You guys have day camps in your community, I'm sure, right? Call up those day camps right now and offer your school as a destination spot for them to go to field trips on. They'll come here, we'll do a confidence building workshop and feed them pizza and juice. Tell the parents they don't need to bring a lunch that day. There's an example right there, right there, right there, right? There's an example right there. Partnerships, as mundane as they see and people don't find value in them, join your Rotary Club, join the Chamber of Commerce. We have the Lions here, and we love partnering with the Millbrae Lions with every events that they do. All that matters. You know why? Because these people make those decisions. They do. And my wife, who's brilliant, just brilliant when it comes to that. I remember we went to the Millbrae High School football game. I mean, the Mills High School football game. And my wife was working the snack bar. And I believe at that day in particular, there was a PTA president in there with her. There was somebody that worked on the school board also in that snack bar with her. So imagine spending a couple of hours just as regular people doling out nachos and things like that. Is that a partnership? Absolutely. Absolutely. But what it induces is humanism, right? Going back to my love and curiosity for humanism is that if I just go show up at your school with a box of donuts on the day the teachers are planning lessons, I know why you're there. You don't give a crap about me and my lessons. You're there to solicit your martial arts school and find some way in. But if we're standing shoulder to shoulder at a crab feed and we're both doling out food to help raise money for the sports program at this elementary school, there you go. There you go, right? It's a much different thing. So I don't believe, Ashton, there aren't a lot of community events out there or there's unique partnerships. I believe we have to approach it with a different mindset, right? How hard would it be? I know you love the hyper stuff and the stunt fighting. How hard would that be to offer a free workshop in the biggest park you have there during the summer for teens and run it through a teen, awareness program that's somewhere in that community, right? Keep teens off drugs and gangs or whatever, right? And partner with them. How hard would that be? I'm sure if you really look, there's a lot of opportunities there. And if there's none, create them. Create them, right? Here's a community event. We know on Sundays that most parents are in the park with their kids, right? They are. They are. Sunday, gonna have some brunch, go play in the park. Your kids playing on the swings and slides, do, 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 do. You look in the distance. You see balloons. You see Kung Fu Panda. You see Bubbles leading the way. You hear kids' music. Everything is awesome. Boom, we hit the playground. These kids are, Kung Fu Panda. We take pictures. We give out fruit snacks with a call to action card attached to the fruit snack. Organic fruit snacks, right? Come in for a free lesson, whatever that might be, with a barcode. Boom, boom, boom. We take pictures. The kids love it. They play with the bubbles. They get fruit snacks, right? And we give out the balloons. Boom, we're off to the next park. Now, is that a community event? Yeah, because we created it. We created that out of nothing. Another one we used to do all the time. See, again, we're in a little different position. We don't have to do those types of things anymore. We could as needed. They're just not necessary in where we are with our brand, who we are as a brand, and how we can impact the community. But create opportunity where there is none. Another one is put everybody in Believe t-shirts and go to the busiest, spots on a Sunday. We have an area, Restaurant Row, where we used to have kids walking up and down, and they go, "Oh, here's the one martial arts kids again," because nobody will say no to a kid. And if a kid hands them a little rack card with a CTA on it, they're going to take it. They will. And if you backed it up by giving out a balloon, there's another opportunity, right? It's really hot in Chipley, Florida. What would it be like to do? Drop your kid at our school from 3 to 5, the hottest time of day. Take a break, mom. Go get your nails done. Go, hang out with your girls at Starbucks. We'll watch the kids from 3 to 5, and have a water balloon fight, right? And we'll have a hose and some Nerf blasters, all with water. What would that be like? There's another community event. So if there aren't community events in your community, let's find out what we can do to create them, right? I know church is really big in Shipley. What's it like to put out the cotton candy machine after mass, after service? What's that like? There's possibilities. How about we set up that cotton candy machine in the front of the school every Friday? Every Friday, everybody in the Chipley community knows I promote it from Instagram through all the parenting groups. Every Friday, you can come by Believe Martial Arts and get free cotton candy from 3 to 5. Here's another community event. I could do this all day, sir. Reach out to every Boy Scout, Girl Scout organization that you have there. They're everywhere, right? We will do a confidence building workshop every Friday from 5 to 6 for every troop you have. Every troop you have. Troop 101, 10 kids on a Friday. This is what we did in Melbourne. I'm not making this stuff up. Every Friday we had a different Girl Scout or Boy Scout group in there, and we were doing confidence building workshop. That's a community event, and we created it out of nothing. Opportunity is there, sir. You got to think about it, okay? Happy Jack, Arizona. All right. I never answer those calls. I don't even know who they are. Ashton, does that help? Does that help? What do you think? And see what I'm saying about meeting? Yeah. Hey, Roy, what's happening, Roy? All the way from Florida, Miami. So meeting the right people means by positioning yourself. And again, when I looked at that snack bar and my wife standing there with, like I shared, a PTA president, and I believe it might have been somebody from the school board. I'm like, damn, my wife is brilliant. She's freaking brilliant, right? So those type of opportunities that was coming out of just simply serving. Ashton, my wife, volunteered her time for the Millbrae Athletic Boosters to run the snack bar. Boom. And organically, who's there? You just never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Yeah, I could talk about community-based marketing all day because I think it's a huge, huge reason why we are in the position we're in. At both locations, San Francisco, we did, a gala night at one of the elementary schools. We watched all the kids for free, so more parents could go to that gala, right? And we fed them pizza and juice, and they earned life skill badges from Kids Love Life Skills, and they broke boards, and the parents are scratching their heads going, wow. And I got to go to this event and eat food. Okay? So all of it adds up. All of it adds up. Next question. We still got about 8 minutes. 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 8 minutes. Do you miss having a front desk person? Wow. No. No. Not at all. If you walk into Shake Shack, anyone ever been to Shake Shack? Right? You walk in, it's convenient. There's iPads. I place my order. I do what I do. Boom, and the food's ready. The person gives it to me. No, not at all. I don't miss a front desk at all. At all. But we also had culturally to make that shift through Facebook posts, through when we onboard new students. Use the app. Use the app. I had someone come up the other day. Can you please put my membership on hold? I'm going on for the summer. Well, ma'am, please, the best way for us to serve you is to go into the app under the SMS, put a message there, and the admin team will follow up to you. Boom. Someone wanted to get sized up for sparring gear. I teach classes when I'm there. So-and-so will come in one day. Because we have staff. We have staff in San Francisco because the admin team is there. Once a week, they're in Millbrae. My sister's there in Millbrae on Wednesday, so she can size up people for sparring gear. So it's not like we don't have any front desk people. We just don't have them nearly as much anymore. And it's just not necessary. We've really created and redefined our culture to live and breathe through the app. Pick up your phone right now. I bet every one of you have at least 3 apps on your phone, right? And through My Studio, our app at My Studio, we're really cultivating people can look at their memberships. They can update their credit cards. They can message us. They can sign up for camp. They can buy things in our store. We don't sit there and walk up to a cash register. They go up there with their phone. They scan the QR code, pay for it, and take a t-shirt. So that's really changed a lot, and it's going to continue. Right? We know here in California, all the fast food workers are being paid $20 an hour. So what's the first thing the businesses did? Cut all of their front counter people, like Shake Shack. See, Shake Shack's an innovator. That's why they're so far ahead so quickly and beating so many other, fast food joints. They got it. They saw the writing on the wall, right? Most people like apps anyways. So I can walk in and go into this kiosk and, sign up, buy a bunch of stuff, and then wait for my food to be delivered. So I think that's a culture I don't advocate for. If you're going to try to live and support a whole family and rent everything working a fast food job, that's a bad day. That's just a bad day. It's not something I would recommend. I think it's a rite of passage, and every high school kid should work at McDonald's or somewhere like that just to see what they don't want to do. Right? I'm going to go to college after working at McDonald's because it's hard work. And I don't think it should be a $20 an hour job. That's just my own thing, right? So it's not something I push for at all, at all, at all. So not having a front desk person is not a miss, but make sure culturally there's an iPad for them to take their own attendance, and it's very clear. Make sure if I come in off the street and I'm just looking for information, boom, there's a QR code. Sign up for a trial class, ages 6 to 11. I can scan that QR code and sign up for a trial. Boom, there's a handout visibly right in front of me within certain feet from the front door that I can take that tells me all about this program with the class schedules and the pricing on the back. See, but again, if you set it up, they will come. You walk into Shake Shack, those iPads just hit you in the face. They're there, and it's very clear what you're supposed to do at those iPads. It leads you through the whole process. And I really found that very, very cool. So we can replicate that in our schools. Right? Good. 5 more minutes, Marco. Do we have any other questions? What does that say? What are your procedures after someone takes a trial class? You know, I think the first number thing you should ask me is how many we convert. We convert 30 to 40%. Now, I know people out there that swear they convert 50%, 75, 95. Those are unicorns. The average conversion rate in the industry is 30, 40%. Our worst month was 28%. We were sucking. But I went in there and looked, and there's just some fundamental things that need to happen. So, because we don't have a front desk person really, how is that set up? First of all, is when they opt in and schedule a trial class, a series of emails pre-framing them what to wear. Here's a testimonial from a parent. Here's our schedule. Here's our pricing. I want to prime them. So by the time they walk through that door before they ever take the trial, they're pretty much made the decision if they're going to sign up or not. That's the first part that I think people are missing. They're so focused because we're taught in our industry. Stay with me, people, and put in your comments if you agree with this or not. So many people focus on the sales script of closing that they miss the whole experience you should be creating. We no longer call it a trial. We've been calling it a complimentary class, but internally, culturally, we're calling it the new student experience, right? And we might even go to something more fun like getting to know you. This is the getting to know you class. This is where you get to know us and see if we're a good fit for you, right? Something, but the word trial is horrible, sir. Horrible. Look at our political situation. How many people are on trial right now? And that's not something I want to associate my school with. The media of trial. You're on trial, right? That's horrible. So I think number one, we should take that out of the mix. Number two, stop focusing on the closing process and focus on from the minute they look at your Facebook ad, right? Or the minute they're at your website. How can I tell that story to get them to opt in? Then, what is a series of automated texts or email that primes them so by the time they walk into your school, they're in a state and ready to buy? You with me? So, once they're in, they walk in, there's a little sign, their name's on it, welcome. There's the handout with the pricing, the schedule, the philosophy of why they should enroll their child in this program. But more importantly, is we know their pain points. And we've identified those pain points. So we have the student parent discovery sheets ready. So if your goal is focus, here's a student parent discovery sheet from the Kids Love Life Skills program on focus with the badge. So I'm sitting there as a parent. I'm just, whoa. Then you do this amazing trial. Honestly, after that, if you have to close them or sell them anything, then you suck. Your thing from the minute they opted in, all through the trial and all that, it sucked. Because now you're trying to sell, close. Don't let them leave there without some type of financial commitment, right? Here, in worst case scenario, take this uniform. Give me a check. If you decide not to sign up, then bring it back and I'll rip up the check. I've heard all kinds of stories. I'm not a hard sell. We're about attraction. We're about promotion through action. So all you do, honestly, is you take that handout, you scan the QR code, you download our app, and from that app, you can enroll in one of our tuition investments. That's how we do it. And of course, there's a goodbye, and there's you did wonderful. The kid broke a board. They have a best job merit badge. All of it. All of it. But ultimately, I want to put the decision of buying in the consumer's hand. I don't like buyer remorse. That's why so many of these venues will have the 72-hour cooling off period. Have you ever seen that? Who has seen that? Most businesses, by law, whether they post it or not, there's a 72 hour cooling off period when it comes to cars and things like that. Things like that, because you get these hard sell salesmen, they get you on an impulse buy, and then you have what's called buyer's remorse. Anybody ever hear that before? Buyer's remorse. Very standard, very standard. And I'm not an advocate for that. I want you to walk out of there and you just want to sign up so bad, so bad. You go home, you talk to your significant other, you look at it, you scan that QR code, you download the app. I want you in the app because culturally, that's where we communicate. Culturally, that's how we build retention. Culturally, instructional videos, events, everything are there. So that's why I need them in the app. You with me? And that's why for us, it's a very simple process. And to me, 30-40% in 2 locations where we're running 1,000 students is really decent. When I hear the unicorns who do 50 and 60, more power to you. I need to do better anyways. I just do. Cool. All right. I love the Q&A today. I hope people come to the plate next week with more and better Q&A. So let me take a look at what's going on. Let's start by thanking our sponsors, Marco. I love my sponsors, Market Muscles, My Studios, Tucson, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. I use all these services. They impact my business. You know, there's certain things you should not do yourself. I would never do my own website, you know, but I have a full-time web designer for my Brannon and Kids Love Life Skills. But the schools, I don't. I want my team to be able to go on the back end, update things, change things, and Market Muscles allows that. My studio, no brainer. If you're not using a good CRM system, you're really missing the boat. You simply are. Tucson, I use a number of vendors, but I love the people at Tucson. We buy the majority of our stuff from them as martial arts equipment vendors. Kids Love Life Skills, if you don't have a great character development system in place, you're missing the boat completely. Because we can do what soccer and football and baseball, but none of them can do. We can teach life skills on such a high level that people view you as an investment versus an activity for their child. Get Kids Love Life Skills. And LC Accounting, Letitia keeps me on the straight and narrow. You know, she's done everything in the years I've worked with her now. I don't know, 5-6 years. And we continue to prosper and grow with her. Keeps me on budget, keeps me on task. I never overspend because of Letitia. Cool. What's coming up? It's Time Life Purpose. You need to be there. Everybody should be at It's Time Life Purpose, but we only take 20 of you for the 4-day experience. I swear I'm going to post that link soon. Again, we're just getting you guys excited about it. It always sells out. It's sold out for 8 years in a row. And it's something truly, truly special. So you want to stay for 4 days. Maybe your team, you have them stay for 1 or 2 days. But ultimately, this is about you, the small martial arts school owner. Cool. And then, of course, our It's Time group mentoring. You know, we're cutting our teeth. We're getting better every month. We have a very small group we're working with currently, but every 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step. So I'm good with it because I'll have to get to work with these 3 beautiful people right here, Marco, Monique, and Jason. And we truly know that we are impacting schools' lives and making a difference to the majority of our industry, which is who? You, the small school owner. Wonderful show today. You know, I just want to take you out with, I was teaching yesterday, and it made me really think about why. And honestly, when I step on that mat and I see a 4-year-old run through the door and they just have a big smile on their face, there is no politics, there is no war, there is nothing but the bliss of being in the presence of a 4-year-old child that offers me the opportunity to be mindful that all that matters is right now, the class I'm teaching, right? And my whole day on Thursday when I do teach, it runs the gamut from level 1, level 2, year 4, adults, staff training. I do 2 staff trainings on Thursday. So I get a lot in the 1 day of teaching that I'm there. But every step, every minute is truly about how blessed and how lucky I am. Yeah, you're right. As Marco's boy Christian would say, it's a good day, you know, and it is. It is a good day. And if we remember that, then I know it's extremely stressful being a small business owner. It's one of the hardest things people will ever choose to do with their lives. But the rewards are great. Never forget that. I'm Brannon Beliso. Please subscribe to our podcast, Success Never Sleeps. It's on all the podcast platforms as well as if you subscribe at my YouTube channel. It is there as well. Follow me at Instagram, please. For everything else, go to brannonbeliso.com. I look forward to seeing you at It's Time Life Purpose or in our group mentoring. Until we talk again, folks, please, 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 you go out there and do what? Live your best life.